learning, Campbell.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely learning. Hey everybody, how's it going? We're here on location. Well, I am with Grant's house.
Yep, my house. Yep, in the Kurikuri Road, Martin.
We're meant to have Steve coming up soon, but he's running late. So we're going to be talking about the organising of the toy fairs and how they got started and all that. But since Steve's not in, we might as well just show off a few models and see what you got for the first week. You got any new toys, bro?
New toys. For this week, actually, I've got to pick it up. It's they were sent to me, but they're not. The post. I get them redirected to the post office, only because we've got a big dog at our place, and the dog normally tries to attack the courier driver. So I get it redirected to the local post office so I can pick it up. So I'll probably pick those up on Monday anyway.
I just had my brother. This is my oldest brother actually. So he sent me a message saying he got me a Beta Snowcat, G.I. Joe Snowcat, for $4 at the op shop.
Cool.
I was like, what a score. So thank you, bro. If you want this, bro, thank you. So what else? Okay, so I might as well let you guys know that Quinton is going to be out of commission for at least 3 months or so.
Wow.
And we got Ronnie Trickshot in the house.
Hey,
he's a good man. He's a legend. He went to Joe Fest, you know that? I actually want to have a chat with him and Shark Eyes when they went to Joe Fest. Basically a dream of mine. But yeah, he's going to be out of commission for a while. So I'm either going to be flying solo or be more on people, or be guests on other people's live streams. And Ryan just said, yep. Yeah, so StreamYard, mate, that's pretty disappointing, mate. You stopped using the free intros and outros, and we had a pretty cool one. So
that's sad.
That's kind of the same, mate. Yeah, I'm not happy with that. We're gonna go over to Grant here, and Grant's got a few models to show us. So we'll go into solo screen. So Grant,
awesome. Welcome, Grant.
Yes, I'm a bit of a Porsche man. Love my Porsches, always have since a young age, and I managed to pick this one here up, which is just absolutely beautiful. It's candy apple red, and it's just absolutely the detailing on it is just phenomenal. And I picked that up off a guy on Trade Me, actually, very cheap. No outer box, but who needs an outer box with a car like that? Absolutely stunning.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And also talking shows, back to shows. I went to a show in Wellington a couple of years ago, and I started collecting some construction stuff, and I found this bulldozer. It was $30, and it came just as a yellow bulldozer with a few mirrors and bits and pieces missing. So I grabbed a can of desert spray, which is like sand, and painted it so it looked like it had been in the mud. So I don't think it just sets it off, and it looks cool, really.
You did your own custom, mate.
Yeah. No, so I like mucking around with those sorts of things. I mean, blame my parents.
Love it.
My parents got me into it when I was a young age. My mum used to buy me Matchbox toys if I was a good boy, and I must have been a good boy because I had a few Matchbox toys, but I've upgraded from there and gone bigger, brighter, and better. So
Ronnie said that he's going to have Adam. You can add one other member to your live stream account if that helps. Oh yeah. How much is that going halves, Ronnie? If you don't mind me asking, or if you don't want to know, if you want to tell us, just direct message me. Yeah. So what else have we got here? Today I started with my Tiger Force Sergeant Slaughter Custom. So I got it pretty good. My father was coming over to. He gave us like 3 big boxes and meat patties of free meat. So meat's meat, mate. If it's free, take it.
Oh yeah,
So
definitely.
thank you very, if you're watching Far North, cheers. Thank you so much. So we could probably get started with this Grant and how he got started with his adventures, starting up organising the toy fair. So what got you started with that?
So years ago, as I've alluded to, my mum and dad, as a kid, bought me Matchbox cars and Corgi cars, and if I was good. And then as I got a bit older and had my own money, I started going to a few shows. The main one was in Palmerston North under the Showground Stadium, which was run by a guy called Ron Barnes from Terrace End Books and Toys. And it was a collector's dream, really. You'd go there and you'd spend a couple of hours wandering around and just hunting for the bits and bobs you were wanting, and you always found something new. That's what I enjoyed about it, always. And look, the people were so friendly. It's a bug, it's a disease, but it's a good disease, and it's one that you're not going to die from. Well, hopefully you're not going to die from, unless your missus contacts your bank accountant and says, "Gee, you've spent too much money." But no, just the thrill of the chase for me really got me. Looking for stuff. As I said earlier, I'm a Porsche man, and I wasn't always a Porsche man, but I was collecting Matchbox for a number of years. Then got into Porsches and Holdens and construction, and you name it, I've got it now, from 64th scale to 43rd scale to 18th scale to 50th scale in the construction to 1/12th scale in some Porsches. That show came and went, and then the Manawatu Diecast Club took over running it, which is where it's based right now, which is a community leisure centre in Featherston Street in Palmerston North. And then as their members drifted off and passed away, and it came available. So Jeremy Welsh from Model Barn actually took it on, so it didn't disappear out of the region, which was great. And I helped Jeremy a lot with that because we're good buddies. Then Jeremy, living in Thames, it was too much for him, and he said he wanted to relinquish it. So I said, well, hey, I'll pick it up. And so this is my third year with the show.
Oh, wow.
And I love it. Look, I love it. I put it on for collectors. I'm a collector, and I put it on for collectors. And I think these shows are important because, not everybody wants to go on Trade Me or those sort of, social media places to find a model. They like to still touchy-feely and have a look. And, as of today, we've got 63 tables booked. We've got potential for another 4 or 5 tables yet to be booked. So if you're out there and you want to book a table, get in very quickly. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's a great day out. I'm a farmer by trade, gets me off the farm. So yeah, just love doing it really. And just watching people's expressions when they actually find something they've been looking for. It's you can't buy that.
So this year it's on the
3rd of August.
3rd of August,
yes.
Which is, unfortunately, here in Palmerston North, they decided to put the Armageddon in.
Yes, they have.
That weekend.
Yeah.
Oh.
So it's hard to compete with that. But hey.
But Armageddon was there last year as well at the same time, Campbell, and we actually did very well last year with Armageddon being in town as well.
Yeah, you also lost one hall, didn't you?
Yeah, we did.
And you still did well.
Yeah, and Armageddon, the guy from Armageddon, he runs around trying to encourage people like myself to join them in Armageddon, but you actually lose control over the show. You actually lose control over your show. So basically he says, turn up, I'll supply the tables, and we get everything that comes through the door. So basically we're getting nothing. And for me, I like to give something back to the community.
Yeah. And
on the door for us is the Manawatu Manawatu Horowhenua Whanganui type 1 diabetes people. And they they take all the door proceeds. So everything that comes through the door, $5 a head, for an adult, it goes straight to them for funding for the kids to do activities and things. And look, type 1 diabetes, I wasn't aware of it until my own son was diagnosed at the age of 11. And, it certainly knocks your whole family around.
Yeah.
And without their support, I don't think we would have got through it. So, I do thank them from the bottom of my heart for my situation that I was in. And I still have a lot of involvement with the trust. And that money's important for funding because, as we know, funding in this country is a bit behind. And the government have only got so much money. So any extra dollars they can make goes back to the communities. So those kids of all ages from 0 years of age when they're born with it to 17, I think is the cutoff, 17 or 18, then they become adult diabetics. It's great for them to be able to do activities like go-karting, paintballing, 10-pin bowling, all of that sort of thing, because, when you are diagnosed as a type 1 diabetic, you're in a world of your own. Whereas when you go to those events, you're mixing with other diabetics who actually give you tips on how to look after yourself and your insulin and your injecting and your health, and it's worth its weight in gold.
Yeah, it's a great cause.
It's a very good cause.
I believe Steve does it for the Cancer Society.
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this year, once again, they're going to be on the door. The lovely ladies will be on the door taking the money. And as I said, we get none of that. It all goes straight to them, which is a fantastic, even though it's a $5 entry, if you want to give them more, they are appreciative of more. And it goes straight to them. There's no middleman taking 30-40%, which is normally what happens in some charitable situations.
Which reminds me, I'm going to be doing a quick short helping promote the Palmerston Toy Fair too.
Oh, yes.
Coming up.
Yep.
I'll do it on Barracks Podcast channel.
Yep.
And also my channel as well.
Yep. Sounds good.
Yep.
Yeah. No. And I mean, let's spread the word. Get the word out there. We want to. I would like to take the show to be bigger.
Me too.
Although, how big do you want a show? I think I'd probably cap it at 100 tables if I could. Because otherwise, my personal feeling is there's too much to look at in the shorter period of time that we've got.
Yeah.
That's the problem. It's all very well to have 160 or 70, 80 tables, but for that 4-hour period or 3-hour period, it's a lot for people to take in and look at.
Yeah. Now, you got a flyer here, haven't you, mate?
Yes, I have. Yep. It's under your bag there, Campbell.
Oh, shit. Sorry,
mate. No, you're right, mate. We'll grab it there.
Yep. So we'll just go on to, once again, solo screen. And if you're in the Manawatu area, if you can see that. So please check that out. I'm going to be there, of course, filming.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Now, Rams, you've done a fair bit of going to toy fairs and all that, eh? So you shocked me, mate, coming out to Whanganui. You kept that a bit of a secret.
Yeah, I just thought, oh man, it'd be great to go down there again. It was a great experience last year, just to meet Steve, and that's where we first met face to face, Campbell. So down at Whanganui, and that was my first time in that little part of New Zealand. So was Taranaki. So that's one of my favorite things about going to all the different toy fairs and things, is having the experience of traveling this beautiful country of ours. Yeah, and also, meeting
meeting people like this, like Grant.
Like-minded people.
I think I came up with a quote. I don't know how I came up, but I said, "Toys bring people together."
Definitely, it sure does. And it doesn't. It's not specific to any type of toy. It could be anything. And that's the thing about toys, is there's always that emotional contact or connection with toys. And just listening to Grant talk about his mother buying him, all these cars and things. Definitely, those are the miracles. I mean, little experiences and things that you sort of that live with you forever. And obviously, now look at Grant. He's still going. He's still collecting. And I was just wondering, you've got every scale Porsches. Do you have a 1-to-1 scale of your own sitting in your garage?
Yes, I have had 2 1-to-1 scales. I had a 924. I got that when I was initially married, and my wife said to me at the time, she said, "If you don't get it now, you never will, because we'll have kids and the money will be short." And so I ended up buying it, and then we had children, and then she suffered from postnatal depression, sadly, and took off. So I became a solo dad, and I had a few dollars in the bank. So we had our divvy up, and I had a few dollars in the bank, and I had a sudden rush of blood to my head, and I found a 928 in Auckland, a V8 one. So I flew up and said to the guy, "Just coming up to have a look and take it for a test drive." He said, "Oh yeah, no problem." Well, he ended up driving the damn thing home. So anyway, that's all gone now. So the 924 was the first one to be sold, and then the 928 was sold 2 years ago. So, but I should have never sold the 928. It was a V8. It was a lovely car.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, but the guy who bought the 924, his friend told him that I had a 928, and he made me an offer that I couldn't refuse. So I didn't refuse it, and I let it go. But so yes, I did have a 1-to-1 scale. Well, I've had 2, but yeah. But listening to yourself chatting, I have people at shows come up to me all the time saying, have you got a model of this? Because my father had one when I was a kid and I'd love to get a model of it.
Yeah.
So, the nostalgia of a vehicle, and the vehicles are on the road every day, cars, trucks, whatever. People do remember those things as kids growing up. Mum and dad had a Humber 80. You can't get a model of a Humber 80 or a Jag or whatever it may have been. And people generally come up to me at every show and say, you haven't got a model of a such and such. And sometimes I can help them and sometimes I can't.
No, that's awesome, Grant. And what is your what's your favorite Porsche? Your absolute favorite,
probably the 928, probably the 928 S4 or the GTS. Yeah, well, the GTS is a 5.4 litre V8. Yeah, lovely car. Yeah, but I wouldn't say no to any Porsche. That's just a Porsche fan. I wouldn't say no to any Porsche. They say the 924 was a poor man's Porsche, but I felt like $1 million driving it. It was just a lovely car.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Wow.
But no, everybody's got their loves.
Have we lagged? Have we?
No, you're good.
Oh, everybody's got their love. Me getting into, when I first started collecting models, I only collected, but now I actually on sell as well. So I actually import from overseas and on sell a lot of models. And I've had the Cadillac Club, I've had the Morris Minor Club, I've had the Mustang Club, all at my property. There's heaps of cars at your property, and these people just love their cars. And it's just amazing how they. I remember years ago. It's quite funny. I remember years ago I did a Mustang convention in Palmerston North. What did I do? I got a whole heap of Mustangs in because that's what they told me to do. Get as many Mustangs as you can. So I said, okay. So I took a whole lot of other stuff with me, and I actually sold more Holdens at a Mustang convention than I did Mustangs. So what does that tell you? Just because people love a certain type of car doesn't mean they're not going to buy another car for their collection.
Yeah, okay, we've just got Steve who just walked in the door now
with an embarrassing look on his face because he's late.
Well,
yeah, do you want to come and sit where I am, Steve, and have a chat?
Or actually, there's another.
Oh,
I can move aside, like over yonder.
Yeah, okay. You sit there, mate.
And I can still control this. It's not all about me.
Hey, Steve.
You've got to brush your hair, Steve.
Yeah, put the hat on.
Right, your hair.
Yeah. Well, actually, I had a shave last night.
Yeah, you brushed. I see you brushed your hair.
I didn't do my hair.
No.
So we were talking about, Steve, how you got started with organising toy fairs and all that, and then we also talking about favourite cars. Oh yeah, I've got the Lego there, mate. Because with the new webcam on my light, I have to do this, which is a little bit. Oh, there she's better actually. Yeah, I'm gonna put that Lego on top. So I've got a bit of Lego for my new webcam, and it works better. It's like crystal clearer. So yes, Steve, can you tell us how you got started with the toy? I don't know if you can still hear me with this mic over here.
Yep.
So yeah, Steve, can you tell us how you got started with the toy fair? Grant was telling us about how his mum got him started with toys, and he just had that fondness of the memories. So you far away, mate.
Very much the same for me. I think it's the same for most people that collect toys. Your parents obviously bought them for you when you're younger because you had no money to buy them.
I'm going to hug you.
Oh, you do that.
I'll just move aside, leave you guys to it, eh?
Yeah, I mean, your parents bought them for you, toys for you, because you didn't have any money to buy them. And then as you got older, for myself, I got a paper run and earned my own money. I was able to then go and buy my own toys, which is good. And then, I remember my father looking at a newspaper and seeing an ad for a toy fair and said, "Oh, you should go to that." So we went to that, and I quite enjoyed that. And eventually, I got my driver's license, was able to drive myself to them. So one of the ones I actually came up to in, would have been late 80s, early 90s, was in Palmerston North, and they had a race course. And I distinctly remember that because I can remember looking out from the race course, and there was a stock car track around the field and a rugby field in the middle.
Showgrounds.
So, so it's showgrounds.
Showgrounds,
The showgrounds, yeah. And then the one that Grant runs in Palmerston North, that started late 90s, about 98, 99, just before the turn of the century, to be fair. And that was, Grant's probably told you, but they had 2 a year at that stage.
Yeah.
And after a number of years, it went down to 1 a year, which was a shame, but at least it's kept going.
Yeah.
And then the guy originally running it, who was running it, decided not to. He had enough and was moving away. And Grant stepped in, which was great. Yeah, so he saved it, really.
Yeah.
And now, to be honest, we quite like to try and expand it if we can work with Campbell and Grant and see what we can do with it.
Yeah, because we were talking about, I was talking to Grant before we hit the stream, because I was sorry, guys, I was late, because had to deal with a few things at home.
They all slept in this morning.
Yeah,
Cold morning down here, you know.
But I'm trying to get my daughter's principal of where my daughters work, where they go to school, and try and get a sausage sizzle up and running. And you said you talked to the diabetes.
Yes, I did, yeah.
But they also do volunteers.
Yeah.
But I'll see if I can talk to the principal. It's probably running a bit late, really, but maybe we try next year.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And also my other goals too is trying to talk to the local radio, like what Steve does.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be on the local community notice board very shortly. So they ask you to give them a heads up a week before the show.
Yeah.
So what you do is you send them a text message with what you want said, and they'll say it a week before the show. But before that, they're not really interested. Yeah. Because there's a lot happening in the community. Yeah. They don't want you just bamboozled months out before it starts. Yeah. So that's why they say make it a week before. Make it a week before the show, and they'll slot it in wherever they can slot it in. Yeah. And it costs you nothing, so it's great. It's cheap advertising.
Because I may be crazy, especially what's happening with my life at the moment, but I want to get a Hawke's Bay, because I'm from Richmond to Hawke's Bay. I want to get a Hawke's Bay toy fair up running.
There used to be one in Napier at the men's club, RSA, I think it was. They used to have one upstairs.
Yeah, and then they had another one. My mum was saying at the Napier Boys High.
Okay. Yeah, no, I've never done that one, but yeah. You know, I did the one upstairs at Napier at the RSA, I think it is, for I did that about 4 years in a row. Yeah. And we got a good numbers through there too, yeah.
Yeah, and especially with the new
expressway thing over the hill.
Have you been on it?
No.
It knocks, it's basically 7 minutes. Boom.
Yeah.
It's fast and it's smooth. Yeah. Probably too fast, to be honest.
Yeah.
So much speed.
If I can just come back to a comment Steve made about kids and your parents, you know, buying your stuff and things. I know my own son, and he probably won't like me saying this, but he used to hate coming with me to help. I'd say, "Come on, boy, let's go. We're going to do a model show." Go, "Oh no, not again." But, you know, he's got a love for tractors. So I remember one show we went to. There was a guy called Steve Carmine who's now passed away, sadly, but he had some tractors, and I said to him, "Do you want one of those tractors?" He said, "Yeah." So I bought him a tractor. Well, now he's got about 50 tractors on display in his bedroom. So he's like two.
That's how it starts. I mean, we talked before, Lamz, that your boat was Star Wars, eh? That one kid.
Yeah.
Heard Star Wars.
Yeah.
Well, now the big thing about Lego's taking off like there's no tomorrow at the moment.
Yeah, it is. It is really. And Hot Wheels.
Yes. So Hot Wheels. Yeah.
My daughter wants Hot Wheels.
Boy, have I got a deal for you.
And then G.I. Joe bought out a Sky Striker. Hot Wheels has actually bought out a G.I. Joe Sky Striker. Yeah. So I'm going to hunt for that.
Yeah. And well, once again, you know, Campbell just alluded to, he's going to hunt for it. And that's, to me, that's the thrill of the chase. The thrill is hunting for it and finally finding it and going, yes, I've got it. You know, that to me is worth its weight in gold, really. You know that you've finally got the model you've been looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely about the hunt. I mean, that's why that's how I end up all the way down in Whanganui and places like that in Taranaki. It's just the thrill of the hunt, you know, just being able to come out. And sometimes I'll just leave with maybe one item, you know, let alone anything. And but it's not always about sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, but at the same time, it's all about, coming down. It's the whole experience of being able to travel down, seeing these awesome places, meeting these awesome people, like-minded people, and just that possibility that one thing you're looking for is sitting on someone's table somewhere in the corner of Whanganui, down in Palmy, wherever it could be. there's always
100%.
that chance that you might find something. So you're looking. So Steve, you were saying you guys were looking at expanding in the sense, making your event bigger. And in what way
as I
would
said
you?
earlier, I said earlier, I'd like to make Palmerston North bigger.
I said I can't get a word in these, mate.
Good.
You bloody do.
Good, shut up. Yeah, no, Steve's just a minnow. I mean, he turned up late, so what does he expect? But no, I mean, as I said, I'd like to get Palmerston up to 100 tables.
Yeah.
Yes, it did used to be twice a year, but look, twice a year in Palmerston, 3 times a year in Wellington. Now one in Whanganui, and then you're competing with the hot rod shows, the vintage car shows. There's enough going on already, and I think, people. Yeah, I mean, I looked at doing 2 in Palmerston North, and the general consensus was no, there's too many.
Yeah.
And, the one in Palmerston North used to be in March, which is probably not a great time because, it's tax time. People are paying their tax in March. So there was never, and even the people that used to run at the Manawatu Diecast Club, I went to those shows back years ago as a seller, and I never did terribly well at those shows because of people's financial situations. They've just come out of Christmas. They've had the credit cards come in. The kids have gone back to school in February. Then March is tax time. There's not a lot of money around at that time of the year.
I'll tell you something because my brother and I, so I'm in March and he's in Aries, so we're a week away. So
Yes, yep.
Sorry, April.
So you're a tax baby.
But the funny thing is, in Hawke's Bay, the toy world had their sales on, and I could get the cheapest G.I.
Yes,
ever.
yeah.
Is that because of the tax?
I would say so.
So they had too much.
Trying to get some money in to pay their taxes. Yeah.
Yes, they had too much in stock, and they had to slow their prices down.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Always wondered that.
Well, maybe. I mean, that's. I mean, different shops have.
To me, I just loved it. I was like, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, different shops have different sales at different times, don't they?
I love when people say what we're doing.
But the other thing is look, people spend money on what they want to spend money on. If it's their hobby, they'll spend money on it. Whether you're a snow skier, whether you're a motocross person, if that's their thing, they'll spend money no matter what time of the year it is. To make them happy, to make, like as I said, looking for that model, finally finding it. If it's $30 more than what they thought they were going to pay, they haven't seen it before, they'll grab it and pay that extra $30 just because they want that item.
Yeah.
And it's a collector's item,
Yeah.
I mean, let's face it, a lot of the models and cars and trucks and things nowadays, all are limited edition, and they all get snabbled up very, very quickly. And I mean, it's like Steve with his Matchbox. Steve and I do a lot together, and we travel to Wellington quite regularly, and I've got to listen to him on the way, and oh my goodness. But anyway, that's a whole nother story. But going down to Wellington, and I'm listening to him about how he's got this Matchbox car, but he's really looking for this one because it was a different color and it's more rare. And, if he found it, he'd pay this for it. And, they're very hard to find, and they're this and they're that. Well, that's all part of it. That's what I'm saying. That's, Steve's going, I'll pay more for it because it's harder to get. And I've seen him buy models in Wellington, and he's come home and he's been the happiest person on the way home. The drive home's better than the one on the way down.
I'm going to Rams. So Rams asked you, Steve, are you looking at expanding yourself or happy where you are?
Oh, thank you for getting back to me. That's good. Yes. We're going to expand in the main hall to 160 tables next year. And that will probably fill it up because when I look this year, there's still quite a bit of room with people walking around. So I think we can do that quite comfortably. We'll be using tables from the Rotary. They're a slightly different size to the ones we've got. So I'll just make one island of those. And then probably the year after that, we might try going back into the badminton hall like we did a few years ago and get it even bigger again.
I know that. Yeah.
But one thing I've got while you guys are all here, I have.
I was going.
Where's the camera? Is it going on the camera?
No, go up.
Come on, get the camera. Where is it? I can't get it. You put me fire on the camera.
There you go. Your camera is right. Are we pause?
It's in front of the microphone, but the camera's not picking it up.
We're paused, mate, because I'm moving and nothing's happening on the camera.
There you go. Okay, right. What you got here, mate?
Right, this is the this is the prototype for the world's first talking toy fair flyer. And when you open it, it tells you all about the toy fair. So I'll just move over to the microphone.
Welcome to the 5th annual Whanganui Toy Fair. to be held on Sunday, 17th of May, Springvale Stadium. Make sure you're there. Mark it in your diary now. 160 table extravaganza. You don't want to miss it. Contact Steve at Whanganui Toy Fair at gmail.com for table bookings and further information.
There you go. So I made that up. I told Campbell about it, and it's sort of a bit of a gimmick to start with, but I met a couple of people from the toy fair who can't see very well. And they were saying with our flyer, as you can see there, it's quite busy. It's got a lot of colour in it. It's got a lot of things happening. And they were finding it hard to actually find the information they wanted. So this Talking Toy Fair flyer gives them the information they wanted. Wow. So as I say, it's a prototype at the moment, but we'll get it into the DL the same as the flyers I sent you, Rams. Yep, and yes. It should be all go.
Yeah, I saw that in the flyers. Yeah. That's pretty cool, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
Pity about the voice on there, though, wasn't it, eh?
Well, we could get yours.
No, we get it.
To be honest, I actually thought it was Rams to begin with. And then I had to listen closely. No, it's you, Steve.
Yeah.
So Campbell's busy playing with that now, so that's got him out of the shot. So
sorry.
If you want to ask me any questions, Ram, I might be able to get a word in edgeways.
Go for it.
No, it's good. We were talking with Grant about charity, and because I understand because you also like most of your when you open up your event, you have sponsors or people that you donate to. Which ones in particular do you use there?
We've donated to probably about 10 different charities. We do like the rescue helicopter. We've done Riding for Disabled. I give a bit to the Rotary Club because they've helped us a few times with tables and bits, and then obviously that money helps them pay for things to help other people. So I think we might channel it that way from now on. We gave Poppins. What was it? Something Poppins, I can't remember.
Money Poppins.
Money Poppins, that's it. And then there's a charity this year we're doing Open the Rangatiki. And I'm just getting the money in from the various companies that sponsor us. So we do I don't know if I told you, but $50 table sponsorship. The idea there was that we can get a lot of the local companies involved and the ones that don't sponsor because the big companies. So it gives them a bit of exposure. And I did a pledging system. The reason for that was when I started, obviously it was COVID because we started in 2022 and I wasn't sure the toy fair is going to go ahead. So rather than collect the money off them and then have to give it all back because it didn't go ahead, I decided to do a pledging sort of split like the old telethon where you pledge your money and you collect it after. Yeah, so we had a crack at that and that seems to work very well. And we probably get in about $3,000 a year. So that's not too bad from that.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm out of the picture.
It helps.
No, you're still here, bro.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Never out of the picture.
I don't know why, but our screen on the outside looks like we're frozen. And I do apologise if we have frozen. We're out in the wop-wops.
We are not.
Well,
there we go. We're back.
You're back. Right.
Keep talking, Stephen.
Anyway, that's what I decided to have a go at. And I got the idea off one of the Lego shows because with those shows, they can't actually charge people for the tables because people are displaying their items. So they actually had sponsors up behind the tables. And that's a good idea.
Oh,
and
wow.
then to be fair, when I first started, I thought, I'm going to need quite a bit of money to get this toy fair started. But I found out in the end, if you start it in the first week or two of the month, just about everyone will charge you at the end of the month. And obviously on the Saturday, you've got no money. And on the Sunday, you're hopefully rolling in it because it's a successful toy fair.
Yeah.
So you can actually start toy fairs up with no money at all. Yeah, I was surprised.
Yeah, that was a clever idea. And in actual fact, I was with my mum's help and I've never talked to somebody in Hawke's Bay that I know, but she's kind of hard to hold on to, a good grandpa. So I might talk to her husband instead and relay the information. But that technique that you use is quite quite intelligent, quite cunning.
Yeah.
I can't take all the
Is that the same
credit.
with you?
Yeah, I mean, it's. I think just back to the charities thing, and you know, people say, "Oh, you give to charity." Yeah, I think it's very important that there's some sort of media comeback on the charity that we're actually giving to that charity.
Yeah.
So this year, I'm actually going to ask Campbell if he can do a bit of a stint with me and the diabetes people at the door, showing that it does go to the diabetes people. It doesn't just go into my pocket, because, you know, I mean, you've got to be genuine about it and say, well, it's going to this charity. Well, you can talk till you're blue in the face and say it's going to that charity, and people go, oh, yeah, it's gone to that charity, but prove it. So I think it's very important. And you know, I'm going to get a photo opportunity myself with the diabetes people and throw it on Facebook. You know, the world of internet, you know, people can see that, hey, Grano Shaughnessy runs the Manawatu, you know, Hobby Expo.
Wow. Is it just me here? Well, it looks like must have something technically different. So basically, we'll just wait for the guys to come back. But that's the good thing about having the shows, is just being able to, especially the local ones down in these areas of New Zealand. And I'm just grateful that they have these. They do manage to give back to the community, especially when they're doing the fundraising and pledging and things like that, which is true. I did go when I was down in Whanganui. I did see on the back wall of some of the tables, it was sponsored by a company, local company in Whanganui, and I always wondered about that. I was like, wow, that's cool. So it was good to know that that Steve, reached out to these companies to pledge and also to sponsor some of the tables that were on display at the time. So it's great. Other great things that I love about the Whanganui Toy Fair. Hello, you guys back? Oh, cool.
Yeah,
I was just
back.
talking to myself for a little while.
Yeah, no, slight technical hitch, you know, modern technology.
See, that's the beautiful thing, Rams, that by having another guest, if I'm out, that person can take over till we get back in.
Yeah. No, good.
But yeah. So it's all right. I mean, as I said, we're up in what? But we're doing okay. It's just the way of the beast. But you were saying,
definitely.
You took the toy.
No, yeah. The great thing. So that's just listening to Steve talk about like. Some of the local businesses in Whanganui were like, because I noticed when I did walk around the tables there, Steve, that there were like little posters or little displays saying sponsored by such and such, company. And I was like, what an awesome idea, it's being able to not only like help everybody who loves this, collecting and things, but it's also being able to give back to the community. It's a pity that I don't know what it is in regards to the venues, whether they charge you to use the venue, but man, wouldn't it be great if the council got behind and said, hey, look, we'll come up with we'll pay for the venue if you guys consider to do the sponsor, like give to charity and things like that. It was something I was talking to Sam, who was running the Taranaki one and just recently the Taupo one. So because that was his first hit out in Taupo, and it was awesome. It was great to see so many people turn up. And Sam also is he has a few of the local charities that they give to. So that's what I love about these events, is just seeing that you guys are giving back to the community also in regards to charity work. So yeah, good on you guys.
Sam's excellent on, as I said once before, on the social media side of it. I mean, he's a bit younger than us, to be fair.
I'll speak for yourself.
A little bit.
Yeah, but he was very good on that, and I've tapped into some of the stuff he does.
Yeah,
and he's helped me a couple of times with a little bit of promotion in various areas, which has been good. So hopefully I'll learn a bit more about the social media, and maybe can even tap into the knowledge that you and Campbell have, and that will help us sort of spread it a bit further. Yeah.
Yeah. Funny you should say that, because your flyer, as I said, is really quite eye-catching, and I noticed with Sam's flyer now is eye-catching as well. So that's also the key too. Flyers, and you get your billboards made by
Inferno Advertising and Design. Yeah. The billboards are done by Speedy Signs.
Yeah.
Well, I think the greatest form of advertising is having a good show and people talking about it too. You know, that can go a heck of a long way, can't it? You know, you get the numbers through and people go, wow, that was an amazing show.
Yeah.
And then you've got people wanting to line up and sell at your show, but also people going, oh, I'm going to come to that show next year, which is you know, fantastic, isn't it?
Yeah, excellent. Like the Wellington, like I did a quick short on the Wellington promoting that, and they got about like 9.1K views.
Yes, yeah.
But yeah, that did really well with that. With that, indeed, it's But then, so I talked to a few other table, and they didn't know that the Wellington one was on. And I said, well, you normally had a table last year, the year before. It's just, unfortunately, Tony didn't contact them. So I said, that's a bit odd, mate. Yeah.
Tony, to be fair, I don't think it's been very well. He looked quite sick when he came to my fair in Whanganui.
Yeah.
And then the numbers were down by about half when I talked to him at the door. And his offside at Gavin, he does a good job in the areas he works in, but I remember when we worked with him, he wasn't always, you know.
Yeah. So
that could have
the other thing is people book tables, you know, like I've just had it recently. I had a couple of gentlemen from Auckland, and that's how far afield they come to the Palmerston North one. They came from Auckland last year, and, you know, I contacted them a fortnight ago, and it was, yeah. Then I get an email last week saying, oh, my wife's having an operation, so she won't be able to come, so I'm not coming. Have you still got Rob's number? So I give Rob a message, and Rob goes, oh, no, if he's not coming, well, I'm not coming. So you know, while people say they're not there, people's circumstances do change. And, you know, while people have good intentions of going, yep, we've booked a table, I mean, often it shows, and Steve will vouch for this, they've booked a table, you've set up the table for them, and they don't even bother showing up. And people go, oh, there's an empty table, it can't be a very good show. But if people don't turn up to your show and they've pre-booked the tables, you don't charge them for those tables until on the day. What do you do? So you know, it's quite important that if you want tables, to book a table and make sure you stick to your booking. And if you can't do the booking, let the person who's organising the show know well in advance so they can fill those tables.
Yeah, I remember last year you said towards the end, right? Okay, people, if you want to come in next year, book your tables right now. Yes.
Yeah. And that's what I'm alluding to. These gentlemen booked the tables last year at my show. I send out an email, I actually message people first and then send out an email with what's going on. And it was only last week, the week just gone, that they messaged me and said, oh, no, my wife's having an operation, so I won't be there. And then the other guy said, well, if he's not coming, I won't be there, but can you book us a table for next year? So while you're doing your best to accommodate the sellers, it's not always in your hands, the circumstances that it ends up being.
And I totally understand this stream would be yesterday, but because my wife's going through chemo at the moment, she wasn't fit enough to look out for the girls. And even though she's to and from the in-laws and where I am, I just said I couldn't do it yesterday. So I had to take care of her and the girls. And she's doing well, and that's another thing. I understand when things happen. I totally get it. But in saying that, the lack of communication, like these days, like cell phones, telephones, emails, Facebook,
Messenger, whatever. Texts.
If they're not communicating back to you, it's that there's a reason why, you know, go, well, look, mate, if you're not interested, don't even. Just tell me straight. I'm one of those guys that's
100%. Well, see, there was another guy. There was another guy who booked 2 tables at this coming show of mine in August, and you know he's shifted to Australia, and he shifted to Australia 2 months ago. Well, I only found that out through social media. Well, he didn't even have the decency to say, "Hey, look, I'm moving. I won't require the tables." Now, okay, he was moving, and that's fine. So that's what I put it down to. He was moving, he was busy.
Is that who I think it is?
So be it. Yeah. So be it.
We won't mention the name.
But he's gone, you know. And I thought, well, hang on a minute. If the roles were reversed, and I'd shifted to Australia, and it was your show, you know, I would have the decency to let you know, hey, mate, I'm actually moving to overseas. I won't be requiring those tables anymore, because then, as an organizer of a show, and Steve will vouch for this, that gives me or Steve, whoever's running the show, the opportunity to say to someone who's on a waiting list, the tables are yours.
Yeah, exactly.
And that gets the interest still alive in the show, because there's nothing worse than turning up to a show and there's 4 or 5 empty tables and people think, oh, what's going on there? What's going on there?
Yeah.
And as a person who's running a show, it's bad on you, a reflection, because it's like, oh, he hasn't even managed to fill the tables up.
Yeah.
One of the things they do in Auckland, as far as I'm aware, is they pre-sell the tables.
Is that
So
correct?
pre-selling. Yeah, pre-selling the tables is a good way of doing it. The only problem you have is, it's Grant saying, if they pull out, giving the money back to them. So you'd have to have something there saying, you know, if you pull out within a month, you get your money back. If you pull out in a couple of weeks, you've lost your money.
Yeah.
Personally, from the tradition of the toy fairs I've been to, you always pay on the day. With my toy fair, I've always found that not too bad, because 9 times out of 10, someone wants an extra table or a couple of tables.
Yeah.
So you move someone around to accommodate the extra tables. I mean, one girl this year booked 3 tables and had 5 in the end.
Yeah.
And we just moved a couple of people. So, yeah. So
Is that why I had less?
Yeah. I had that problem myself. But yes, I know what you mean. It can be annoying. I did have in the first year one person say they're coming and didn't turn up. And they phoned me on the night and said, I'm not coming. And I said, okay, fine. And then another person didn't turn up at all. And what I do is I put them on what I call my blacklist. And if they want to book a table again, they pay for last year's table and this year's in advance. Yeah. Otherwise, they don't get a table.
Yeah, that makes sense.
The only way I've ever done it.
Yeah, that makes sense, actually. Now, going back, so later on this year, in November, my bro and I are doing a live stream at Sam's Toy Fair. We should actually got Sam involved in this too. I don't know, it's just last minute notice. So that's going to be the first ever live stream at a toy fair. And then next year, which is going to be big at Whanganui, my bro and I, and you're looking at doing a big screen outside, are you? With us.
Speedy Signs have got the big screen, yeah, and we'll have that outside. And
So,
speakers inside, and these two talking all the time, and we might even get Grant on there. Then there won't be any gaps in the talking.
Well, there you go. They know the good people from the start.
Big speakers in the hall.
So the idea of that is that the partnership of say you got 2 people selling. You go, look, I'm going to go up there with Campbell and have a quick interview. Campbell will put in and have a quick interview with them.
Yes.
And have a chat.
Good idea.
You're more than welcome to. We just can't let any Joe Bro get up there. No. So,
Rams might be there. Rams come down again.
Oh, yeah. Rams there. Yeah, definitely. And if Kelly's there. But, like they approach anyone who wants to come up and have a chat to us, just go see Steve and say, Steve, we'll want to.
Yes. Yeah, good idea.
Yeah. We just can't have anyone just come up and just go, whoa. Even I do this now.
I think that's. I think that's actually, Campbell. I think you're onto something there, because that also is a good way to advertise up and coming shows. You know, like even though it's Steve's show, I can wander up and say, hey, look, I'm having a show in August. You know, Tony Dowman can walk up and say, I'm having a show in June, July.
Yeah.
You know, so you're actually getting it out there as well as flyers in the big wide world of the web. You know, a bit of free advertising or a free push and shove, you know, well, there it is. Yeah. So I think it's a good idea.
Yeah. I reckon that's what sort of, I could be wrong, but with like last year's Wellington Toy Fair, it was the 2 halls. Mm-hmm. Oh, that was spoiled choice.
Oh, yes, 100%. Yeah. 100%.
Yeah,
that was actually very well done, because we've tried again, like I did in the badminton hall in Whanganui, but also in Wellington St Mary's. We used a gym and we used the weight room on the side, and it was hard to get people through. And I was saying to Tony and Gavin, I said, "Oh, it's great that you got the 2 halls, but I can't see you're going to get the people going from one to the other." But they had it well set up and it worked very well. Yeah, they had 2 pay stations, to be fair, so you win in one or the other first.
That's a good idea.
It was good. Yeah, it worked very well.
And plus, it divides the numbers in the halls too. You don't get that big clutter of people trying to push and shove and get to see the item there after. Whereas, some go to one hall and some go to another, and it's just a steady stream all the time.
Yeah, I noticed that with yours last year because unfortunately they booked the other hall.
Correct. Yeah, we only had one room.
And at one stage it was actually quite
cluttered. Yeah.
So I took the opportunity to talk to a few friends like Alan and Grant, and then made my way upstairs and there. I might actually look around there and see if I can do a solo live stream.
Yes, by all means.
Since my bro's not going to be there.
Yeah.
And just do a quick, short live stream, but also do some toy hunting as well. Yeah. If they got Wi-Fi there,
I would think they would have. Yeah. No, I would think they would have Wi-Fi.
We need to find out what it is.
Yes. Yeah.
And that went really well because we were there the day before as I was setting up, and Steve gave me the Wi-Fi connection, and I was only using Wi-Fi, not the cable, but because no one else was using it, I was probably one of the best. On location live streams, except for the webcam. But now I've got the new webcam. Oh, we stopped again, have we?
No.
It's going in and out at the moment. Yeah, at the moment you're doing it. It's just coming in and out.
Yeah, it's probably the location that we're in. Sorry, Grant.
That's all right.
What we could do, if you guys want to have a check, I've actually brought myself a new desk for my toy room because with this webcam, I couldn't do it in the garage anymore because it was showing everything. So if you want to make the trip to you're easy.
Yeah, that's right.
In 45 minutes, we can do another one.
Well, Steve can come here and I can bring him down and listen to his latest, latest find of Matchbox car and like I normally have to. That's why this ear is quite numb. Yeah, no, it probably is. But yeah, no, that's cool. Yeah,
sweet.
Yeah.
So I'll just hunt around this year, and next year we'll try and get the radio station, try and get the sausage stills all up and running.
Yes.
I'll be there. I was all set for this year. Unfortunately, with my wife doing chemo, I've had to sort of. Understandable. Family comes first. Which is why I've slowed down my a lot of my YouTube events lately. I've just juggling time and all this. It is what it is. But my wife's she's on her food treatment and she's doing well so far. So it's good.
Yeah, that is awesome. Good. Yeah, it's good news.
Great.
And then we'll see my brother in 3 months' time because he's going for treatment himself. It's something completely different. It's the same but completely different. So he's probably going to go and text me and say, "Don't say that, bro." I said you should wear a mask.
Oh. Yeah. Well, Hope Quinto's doing good. Yeah, I think that's the thing about the events, and it's good to put it all out there. That's one thing about doing these videos, or coming down to the events and filming and putting together videos is it also gives the organizers. I like to try and send them out to those who are organizing them so that they can use that as promotional videos too, and gives a good like if people were to wonder what it's like to be able to go to events like in Taranaki or Whanganui or down New Plymouth and things like that, they could always just search it in YouTube and these videos will pop up, and at least they could get a good inkling of what it's going to be like, and hopefully they'll say, hey, I saw it on YouTube, I thought I'll pop down and have a look. So I think that's one thing I enjoy coming down to visit and it's that thrill of the hunt, but at the same time it also it's free publicity, and it also gives an opportunity, because I think I did that once. Was always, like I'd hear about an event and I'd be like, oh, I wonder what that one's like, and I'd go to search and no one's done it, and that's probably one of the that's probably what drove me to start writing, just start videoing like different events and putting it up on YouTube just for people to have a look if they ever had a chance to go out there.
one of yours you did recently, Rams, on Damien's Toy Fair. Yeah, I was wanted to go to that and haven't got there. So I wonder what that's like. And I see you did a video on that, so I watched that the other week, and that was good. Yeah.
I also think the other thing is with what you're doing here, guys, is you've got a lot of people who are getting old and moving on in life. But no, we all joke about it, but it happens to the best of us now. I have calls regularly, once a month, twice a month, 3 times a month, people wanting to know what we're going to do with the goddamn collection. My father collected this and my uncle collected that, and we don't know what to do with it as a family. Now, there's a huge market for secondhand models and toys in this country. And I mean, I get offered them a lot and I buy a lot myself. So if anyone out there's got something they want to get rid of, certainly contact me. But it's also a great way to families to go, hey, there's a show in Manawatu. Yeah. Can we get a table? But you won't sell everything in one show. I will warn you that. People have an illusion that they're going to bring, $5,000 worth of model cars that belong to their dear old dad who's been collecting for 40 years of his life. And they're going to stand at the Model and Hobby Fair in Palmerston North, and they're going to sell $4,999 worth, and they're going to go home with one car. Don't think that's going to happen. If you're going to come along to shows, be in it for the long haul. Yeah. Collections are collections. People collect all sorts of stuff, and I often say to my kids, just because I collect Porsches and Holdens and different bits and pieces doesn't mean you're going to like what I collect. Exactly. And one day I'm not going to be here and they'll disperse of it the way they want to. So I think shows are a great way to do that, but it's also a great way to meet people who actually buy collections like myself and other dealers out there who will actually buy a complete collection for so many dollars. And yep, you get the good stuff, but you also get the bad stuff. And you've got to have a time period where you go, okay, I'm going to have 40% of that for the next 5 years it won't sell, but the first 60%.
Just cut out again, but it's so true. What the conversation is talking about is what does happen to your collection when when you're not here. Like, has everyone got a plan for what's going to happen to their collection? Have you told your wife? Have you told your kids? And because I understand not everybody's into what you like. So you may have children and they're like, oh no, I'm not into that stuff. And then next thing you know, they're biffing it out in the next garage sale. So it's always good to have a plan for your collection. And at the same time, I met a lady up in Auckland myself, and she would go to the events up here, the retro event, and shout out to Christine. Her husband passed, and he had a massive collection of McFarlane's Spawn figures, all on the card, and there's so many things that was going on that she didn't know what she was going to do with this whole collection. He had like almost like a garage full. So you find her at these retro events also now, who are selling off their loved ones collection. And so yeah, definitely it's something to think about, something to really plan for, if whatever the future may hold. And if what are you going to do? Like, I talked to my wife, and she's always asked me, what am I going to do with all these toys? And my collection of Star Wars helmets and things like that. So it's always good to have a plan B, because we're unfortunately, like taxes, everyone's going to die one stage, unless you're like a vampire or something. But other than that, yeah. So that's pretty much something else that you've got to really think about. And true to what Grant is saying, that there'll be times when people do come up to their shows and wanting to get rid of their loved ones' collections. I find also it's got a lot to do with pricing too. You can't always just think that it's all going to go for whatever thousands of dollars, like Grant was saying. Sometimes you have to try and meet the demand also, and think about you might have to price them to go, otherwise they're just going to be sitting there forever. You can't always get eBay, especially here in New Zealand. That's for sure. Not eBay prices. Oh, there he goes. I thought it was the Ram show.
We might have to sort of call this quits soon, mate, because it's going in and out anyway. But
Yeah,
we had to
no
get
worries.
behind the scenes. We don't know if you guys can actually hear us. But we're talking about like some of the collectors and what you can do when you sell them. So I was saying that last year at the Wellington Toy Fair, this gentleman was trying to sell a G.I. Joe figure, which said was in the 60s, and it was like a joke between us three. I mean, even more on, I said, no, it's not. It's not from the 60s. Pull his pants down because it's got a stamp on it. It says the 1990s. And you're obviously trying to sell. You said you're talking about trying to sell your whole collection in one hit, right?
Yeah.
So you're not going to do that. You got to be prepared to barter or bargain. And I think the guy got really upset with me because I said it's from the 90s. Anyway, he pulled the same trick for my brother last year, and this year the guy was still there. I'm pretty sure he doesn't follow me, so I don't care. And Steve here saved me because he was talking way too much. There was a few action figure G.I. Joes, but they were mismatched, and he was trying to sell them for top dollar. And I said, "Oh, mate, it's not top dollar." And I'm not trying to rip him off. I said, "Look, here's a good amount. It's a really good amount for this. I'll take them off your hands." And he says, "Oh no, I've got people holding on to this." I said, "Oh, okay, cool, see ya." But Steve here saved me because he was like talking way too loud and trying to con people saying that it was legit. And even though I wanted to say, no, it's not my common place to say that.
I think you're right. You know, we came back on just before and you were talking about eBay prices and things. I think people tend to, look at eBay and go, "Oh, it's got to be worth that. It's on eBay." But realistically, it's on eBay, but it hasn't sold. And people do the same with Trade Me. Like I've had models of V8 supercars and things, and people have said to me, "Oh, you've only offered me this for it." I said, "Yeah, but I've got to make a margin." And they've said, "Yes, but we've seen it on Trade Me for this price." And I said, "Yep." And it's been on there for over a year.
Yeah.
It hasn't sold for that price, and people think that because their father's paid $300 for a model and it's been displayed for 2 years in a cabinet, it's covered in dust, and one of the mirrors is broken and one of the windscreen wipers is missing, it's still worth $300. It's no way it's worth $300.
Yeah.
But people don't like being told that, but realistically, they either want to have it still sitting in the cabinet in 5 years' time, gathering dust with another broken mirror and another missing windscreen wiper and a broken spoiler, or they want to go, "Hey, yep, we see your point. Let's get rid of it.
Yeah.
Let's turn it into cash." So, the eBay prices and the Trade Me prices, they don't exist. Yep, some stuff sells on Trade Me, but it sells at a realistic price.
Yeah, I quite often get the beaters and repair them. Or if I've got like a broken figure, so I'll get a beater.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, that's good. I can therefore, and that's collection's fully complete
for
myself.
Yeah.
So then I either say to my bro, "Look, here's a Cobra figure, that's yours," or I'm completely honest and say, "Here's a mixed bunch of broken figures or whatever at $1. I don't care if I make money or not," but then most people will just sort of like go, "Well, yeah, I don't want that." I say, "Cool, I can just say that on its own."
Well, with model cars, Campbell, like if a mirror comes off, a lot of people will attempt to glue it back on. Well, the first thing you see is a glue residue around where the mirror's been glued back on. And they go, "Oh, but it's mint." Well, no, it's not, because you've glued the mirror on, and then you've got to try and sell it as a model that's had a mirror glued on, and people don't want to pay top dollar.
And you have to be honest.
Correct, 100%.
Yeah.
Because the comeback is on you as the seller, and as the seller, you want to do the right thing by people.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody likes being ripped off, let's be honest. And I don't like being ripped off, and I don't like to rip other people off.
Yeah.
But some people do, unfortunately. So, your whole pricing guide is out the gate, really, because as we've alluded to again, eBay and Trade Me, good luck looking at them. I mean, I've had people come up to me at shows and go, "Oh, you've got a American car, an Ertl model for $100. Yep, I can get that at the warehouse." Well, I'll tell you what, you go to the warehouse and you get it, and if you can get 5 more, you bring it to me and I'll buy them off you.
Yeah.
Because there's no way you'll get that model at the warehouse for cheaper. And it's just experience. And most people that go to these shows do have experience. That's it. Wouldn't you agree, Steve?
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, a bit like you with your Matchbox. I mean, Steve and his Matchbox, I wouldn't even know what half of them are. And he's going, oh, this one's very rare and this one and that one. And it's great. Just listening to him, the experience is just worth its weight in gold.
Yeah, I'm one of those rare people where, so I deal with also Steve Loveday. Do you know Steve? Rance?
Yeah.
And I, majority of my channel, I like to get beaters, and beaters are what we call broken up.
Yeah.
And I try to repair them or make customs all that. And it's very rare. And just like Ronnie here. So Ronnie and I, we've actually exchanged, if he's in Australia, he's based in Australia. And so we've exchanged quite a few things. And he's given me a lot of figures that I'm forever grateful for.
Yeah.
I need to make a trip over there to show him a beer and all that.
Yeah. Probably 2, Campbell.
Yeah, probably 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just don't pull his pants down, look for the stamp on his ass.
I want actually, my next tattoo, I might do that actually.
But it's a bit like me with the bulldozer, though. You know, like I bought that bulldozer as a bit of a broken old bulldozer, but I code 3'd it. And in the die-cast industry, that's what they call it.
I love that.
A code 3. Yeah. So it's been mucked around with. So
Code 3.
code 3 is I've painted some dirt on it to look like it's been.
So that's called code 3.
You're correct, yes.
Code 3. Wow.
Yeah. Code 3 is what it's referred to in the die-cast industry. Yes.
So code 1 comes directly from the factory.
Yep.
Code 2 is a factory model, but it's been changed. Someone's put a private decal or sticker on it.
Yeah.
And a code 3 is something you've made up yourself, like a restoration model or
repainted repainted or whatever. Yeah.
I've learned heaps.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Awesome.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And then going back to what you guys were talking about with eBay and Trade Me and the prices, I always advise the people to have a look at what they've sold for rather than what they're on Trade Me
Correct.
for.
Yeah.
And
Correct.
that way they'll get a better idea.
Yeah.
And in contradicting Grant a little bit, I had a cousin came to my first toy fair and they were selling a collection. And they asked me about what to put stuff on for its Lego. And I said, look, I don't know. I said, if you want to get rid of it today, put it on really cheap. If you want to be here 10 years later selling it, put it on quite a high price and you'll get good money for it. They put it on, must have been reasonably cheap. They came back to me after the toy fair. They had 2 pieces to take home. So that was it. So that would be my advice to people selling. You just, if you want to get rid of it, put it in there cheap. It'll go. If I do stuff, I've got some stuff I've done that with, and I just think it's going to someone who's going to look after it and cherish it in a good home.
Yeah.
Where at the moment it's just in my junk box, so they may as well have it. Basically.
Yeah.
You don't like to give it away, but that's just the way it is.
To barter and strike a bargain.
Well, at the end of the day, none of us can take any of it with us.
Yeah.
So it's better to go to a good home and be played with or displayed and just someone else to enjoy it. At what price? Who cares? Because we're not going to be around to worry.
You should say that. Eh? So I've made a joke in the past, and so when I go, there'll be a bowl full of Joes, and they can just throw it cheap.
Yeah.
Or the real mint ones. If I go for say Steve, I'll take it to someone who I know will cherish them and look after them.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. They're like my girls, man. They are really good. They know not to muck around with my figures, like and toys. Like I've got great respect for them, my girls.
Well, it's funny. It's funny you talk about that, Campbell, because I see at shows, I see little kids come up, and it kind of reminds me of me. 30 years ago, 40 years ago. Wow, look at that kid come up. He's looking for a certain model, and I think that used to be me 30 years ago.
We would have mums.
But they still do. They still do. They still do at shows. But, it just reminds me of me 30, 40 years ago coming around the shows, looking for something that I really wanted, and the glee and the joy on their face when they finally find it. It's like, wow, they've found something they've been looking for. And, hey, they're going to get years of enjoyment out of it.
So about, who's the James Collectibles? So he gave me, at the end of my toy fair, he gave me a whole bag, like 3 or 4 bags of beaters. Just gave it to me.
Yes, yeah.
And I'd love to get his number and sort of chat with him. I would love to get him on the show too. Like he was absolute gem. He's a gem.
Yeah.
I've got to say, Grant, that also I've noticed that you have gone a lot more variety in your toy fairs as well. Like you said that in the past, there was someone that just wanted straight out cars and no Barbie dolls or anything. I noticed that you just said, "Oh, come in, Paul, come on."
Yeah, within reason. I mean, I think that the die-cast or model and hobby fair is, we don't want people with painted rocks or kids' booties.
Yeah.
But, well, certainly Yu-Gi-Oh cards, your G.I. Joes, no problem at all. I mean, we were all kids Lego. We all grew up with it.
Yeah.
We're growing up with it now. I don't think that hurts at all.
No.
I really don't. Look, collecting's changed. When I first got into collecting, selling cars, predominantly cars initially, I had a guy say to me, "Oh, you're going to start selling models?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Don't just bring in what you like." Now, that word of advice, I sort of thought about it. I thought, "Oh, what's he know about? I'm going to bring in this and I'm going to bring in that. I'm going to bring in some Ferraris and some Porsches and some whatever." Well, we've all got different likes in this world, I mean, as I alluded to earlier, I had the Cadillac Club sitting in my driveway, and I mean, I needed a longer driveway because some of those Cadillacs were quite long. And I mean, I can't stand Cadillacs, but they're all lovely people.
Yeah.
The Morris Minor Club, we're all individuals and we're all different. So if people collect Lego, they collect Lego. If people collect Porsches, they collect Porsches. God help us. If people collect G.I. Joes, God, even worse. But Matchbox, I mean, we're all different, and you've got to cater for those differentials.
And you did right. I mean, I've got two other brothers, so the oldest is into Transformers majority.
Yes. Yep.
As you know, G.I. Joe. And my youngest is majority Star Wars. Now we've all played with, but we all sort of went our own sort of what we wanted the most.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know if you've got the brothers and sisters and you did the same thing yourself.
Yep.
But we still respected each other, and we still, I think the only common ground we did have with my younger brother and myself was wrestling.
Yeah.
Which is a whole different killer fish.
Yeah. Well, I'll say again, people collect different stuff and all walks of life, like I've had doctors, accountants, lawyers, policemen, fire people, I've had a guy who was in the fire brigade, volunteer fire brigade, collecting fire engines, policemen collecting police cars, lawyers collecting Ferraris. It's what they like and what they, so you'd be very surprised about diversity of what people collect.
Funny you say that, lawyers. I was in a bidding war for a certain figure, and then I discovered what this person did for a living.
Yep,
I'm out.
Yeah.
That person makes more money than me.
Yep. Well, I mean, there's a lady in Wellington who's dispersing of her VW collection. Well, she spent a fortune with me on V-dubs because she just loved V-dubs.
Yeah.
So she was collecting V-dubs, and that's her thing. That's what it is. Jeremy from Model Barn, he's got people that just collect tractors. He's got people that just collect diggers, just collect bulldozers, just collect trucks. So we're all different. And just because G.I. Joe's your bag, it's not Steve's bag or my bag.
But we're still here together.
Because we love toys. And collector's items of.
That quote, I don't know how I came up with it. Toys bring people together.
Correct, 100%. Because we all grew up as kids. When you're born as a baby, you've got no emotions or feelings, and it's only the stuff you've given and the experiences you get in life that create those. So if your mum gave you a G.I. Joe as a young child, you started beloving G.I. Joes, just like me with my Matchbox toys and my other toys. Yeah. And then it grew bigger and brighter and better until now it's out of control.
Yeah,
but
same with me and everyone else watching. It's that childhood memory.
Correct. And fond memories. I can remember sitting up in the lounge.
I'm going to try and put that in one of my t-shirts.
Yeah, but I remember sitting up in the lounge, a little car track, and just having a car race.
Yeah.
It was one car. I mean, it was always going to win the race because it was one car, but it was just neat. It was just something I remember.
And my dad was into model railways. And I foolishly helped him build this big
display.
Diorama.
Yep.
Unfortunately, I made the mountain, so it wasn't detachable.
No.
So when I got caught in the thing, we had like a stick. So, all right, back to the drawing board. So the mountain can now be detachable.
Yeah.
All right, I'm thinking it's doing well now, but I think we should just call it quits now. Thank you, Lance, for
good.
And on the chat for watching this. Thank you, Lance, for sticking around, because if it wasn't for you, mate, this show would have been history. Literally, we went off about
Yeah, thanks for covering us, mate. Thank you for stepping in and, holding up the fort.
All good,
So-
all good.
Please, everyone, like, share, subscribe to Lamz. You know me, so please hit that. I hit 1,000 subscribers last weekend, which is really good. And then what I'm doing absolutely nothing lately because I'm looking after family. But family comes first too.
Yes.
But I've got something coming up by the end of this week, which is a quick custom. And then the following week, I'll be doing more of my spray booth. So check that spray booth channel out. So that's good.
Awesome.
Yeah. All right, mate.
And until again, just enjoy collecting and stay safe, everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey, Rand,
definitely.
you got anything else coming out in the walkbooks before we leave?
I've got, hopefully by tonight, I would have posted the Taupo toy event with Sam's one. So that one's coming up pretty soon. And then, just be looking forward for the next retro event that's coming up here in Auckland. There's a few others that are going on at the moment, but definitely I'll be dropping the video for Sam's on and Taupo just recently.
Cool.
That's what's coming up.
Yeah.
But shout out to Steve. Yeah, so thanks Steve for everything. I got this from Steve. This is also rare. This is rare because you're only going to get this in New Zealand.
I never got one.
So
How come I never got one, Stephen?
I'll put you on the solo screen here, bro.
I feel jealous, Rams. I never got one of those.
I've got one. I want it.
I never got one of those, Stephen.
Oh, well, special people get
You'll be walking to Wellington next time again.
So that's awesome. Thanks, Steve, for that. That's I reckon this is pretty good. I think if anyone actually goes down to Whanganui, head up to Steve's table. He's got awesome Whanganui toy festival toy stuff.
Those items you got are for sale, and the money does go to charity.
Oh, that's good.
So we make charity items. And have you got the pen there by any chance?
Yes. Where's the pen?
Show that one. People
Pins.
like that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the one.
I got one of those. I got one of the pins.
Well, can't complain again.
Free table.
You guys because you guys are good friends, do you guys look out?
Friends. We're friends, are we?
So does he have to pay for his table?
Yeah, he gets free tables at my fair, and I get free at his. Yeah.
Hey, it works well. I love that. Yeah, and then the same with Wellington as well too. Like now.
I got charged last time.
With Tony.
Yes.
Wow.
And I helped set that toy fair up years ago. Unbelievable.
Because he's in Levin, isn't he?
Yes.
Yeah. So, but he's away on holiday at the moment, isn't he?
Should be back now.
Yeah, no, he was only going for 4 weeks, wasn't he? 4 weeks?
Yeah, I think
4 weeks.
I think he's
See,
back
we would have had Tony in here too, but I wasn't quite sure we were on holiday or still. But see, he would be quite a good location too to have a chat. Maybe at his place. But that's in the future.
Well, his place would be good because he's got a big model room there. Awesome model room. Yeah, so
Wow.
worth having a chat.
That'd be quite good.
I find though a lot of people, and this is only from my experience, some people are reluctant to show their models because of security reasons.
Yeah, I've got security cameras.
Yeah. Just because I know where there's a collection not far from here. It's not my own collection, but it would be worth close to $1 million.
And that's the reason why there was 2 reasons why I did the spray booth.
Yeah.
Because when I was spraying outside, you can see the colour of my house.
Yeah.
That was quite worrying, and also the wind and the weather situation.
So people are reluctant to show their wares because when you've got a substantial collection, you have got quite a substantial amount of money tied up in your collection.
Yeah, I'm sort of freaking out about the way. Don't anyone try my place because I know how to protect my house. But yeah, the collection has, and you will know too, Rams, that what you bought for like $10 2-3 years down the track has suddenly gone up to like $40 to close to $100, and you go like, what?
Yes, yeah.
What? Seriously? And that's why I've instilled with my daughters you know, that's quite precious and quite valuable. I mean, I've got a couple of life childhood figures I've got, and I said that's that. The beetles, I don't care what they can do with them.
No,
and they actually come up with some good creations themselves.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
But I totally agree with you, Grant. That like people are a bit hesitant about showing their collection.
Yes, they are. Yeah, because of the monetary value and there has been a number of substantial collections gone missing in the past.
Yeah. So I'm aware of that. That's why I've got security.
Yeah.
Even though cameras won't actually stop.
No.
But it's a bit of a deterrent.
Yeah.
So we're going to call it quits, people. Thank you so much. Like, share, subscribe. I'm going to be on my own for next 3 months. So if anyone wants to get me on their show or come on my show, just direct message me. You know who I am. Thanks to all the lovely guests here at Grant's beautiful house. And I mean beautiful because it's big and it's quiet. And I love the quietness.
It was built in 1885, so it's older than all three of us put together.
Yeah.
Wow.
The reason why it's quiet means I can actually work here. And build
You're not
stuff.
going to move in, Campbell, I don't know.
No, I won't move in. So anyway, we'll leave it with this.
Yep. Take care, guys. Thank you. Enjoyed it.
See you. Cheers, Steve.
Stay safe.
Grant.
See ya.